Greetings, Inquisitors. Welcome to the Holocron. This is the week 133 update for the Darth Loquitur account. I update this account's progress every week, go through all the characters, ships, mods, datacrons, whatever we're doing in the account. Talk about plans for the future so that y'all can follow along and we can discuss it and have a good time. Please remember, hit that like button as we get started. Leave comments down below for any discussion points, things you think about this Holocron, ideas you have for my progress, whatever it happens to be. Happy to hear from y'all. So you'll have to look at 2 copies of Loquitur for a minute because the first part of my upgrade I did during a stream. I was trying to do the Krayt dragon raid, so I wanted to get this Mando team up and running. I had all the stuff that I needed except for the last few bits for relicking the Maul character. So I did go ahead and relic him to relic 7 on stream. So that was the first part of the update here, getting that Mando team up and running. Then for the rest of the upgrades this week, we did get gear tiers on Skiff Lando, and I had locked down 2 sets of Kairos on double drop week to try to, make sure that I was taking advantage of all the Kairos that I could in the right way. And with just a couple clicks, I've already run out of Carbantes and stun guns, and I am trying to, kind of save a bank of the new currency tokens and kind of see how that works out. So I'm waiting to buy Carbantes and stuff like that until I know that I need them. So you see I kind of held off there, and here I buy 1 set and add them to the account. So Carbantes aren't the most efficient purchase with the newest raid token system. So I want to check and see how many of them I'm going to have to buy, or if I can save that currency for other more efficient purchases. Get a gear tier there on the Mob Enforcer. We've got a lot of pluses on the Jawa here, but we need multiple stun cuffs. I decided not to apply those stun cuffs right now, so we're going to hold off on that upgrade for him. And that puts us in pretty decent shape. We've got a few gear 12s here in the journey that we can work on. Krayt is the last character that we need to level up, so we're going to go ahead and level him. Of course, he's not at the required stars yet. I'm going to leave him toward the end of the journey to see if I can wait out the double drops. I'm not in too bad a shape on him. He's already at 5 stars and most of the way to 6. So if I do have to farm him for single drop, I'm not going to be too mad because between events and a little bit of farming that I did before, I'm not too bad a shape on him. Here's Canderous. We've been working on Canderous. We took him from almost nothing to the 6 star working on the 7th. Of course, double drop week helped with that a lot. Taking a look at mods, we need to get mods on this Leia over here. So I'll pick her. I'll do my mod work for the week. Here we're going through all the arrows and trying to sort out which arrows we want, get rid of a bunch of stuff. Working on gray mods, we had quite a few slicing opportunities, but nothing's really hitting for me. So I try all these and I don't get any successes on speed. So moving on to the blues and greens. So we work through those, sort them out. And there's, again, nothing. There's nothing sliceable out of all of it. So pretty disappointing. Here we go with the golds and the purples. And I sort through some of this stuff. Here's the 1 speed. All the stuff that I've missed over the last few weeks. We're selling off all the single speed hit mods. And then we come to the slicing for the purples and golds. And again, nothing. Just, yeah, rough week. As far as getting anything sliceable. Here I'm going to try to finish off a couple mods there. I got a speed hit on a mod, so that's nice. Here I miss. Here I do. I'm looking around to see if there's stuff that I really want to calibrate, so I'm looking for opportunities with what I consider to be some of the best mods that I've got. Here we get a hit on speed, but we don't get the second hit on speed to take it to 5 full rolls. So I attenuate here, and then the next calibration costs 25. We try it again, and all we get's back to offense. So I don't really like doing a 3rd calibration, even if it's a good mod, so we're going to stop there. Then that's the mod work for the week. A couple hits on speed, but overall not really a great week. We mod out the Bush Leia, give her some offense mods, just get her up and running. And that way in the Krayt raid, we can at least throw her into a team and have her do something. So that's not bad. We did put the Omicron on. Of course, they were refunding people who put the Omicron on 10 Omicron pieces, so there's no reason not to take advantage of that. You can get the Omicron honor for 10 instead of 20, so I went ahead, spent the 20, got 10 back. Felt like a pretty good deal. Here in ships, we're going to work on the finalizer. I've saved up to 2,000 on my prestige currency, so I felt like, yeah, it's fine. We can go in here, spend some prestige on this. I don't want to drop too low, but at the same time, I do want to get the finalizer into a functioning ship. And at some point then in the future, I can make a decision if I want to try to make an executor counter with it or whatever. So it's not on my list of things to do, but it's not really taking me anything out of cycle to get all this stuff ready in the background. So why not, right? Take a little prestige. Take Hux up to gear 11 so that I can take the passive all the way up. And now the finalizer is actually not bad. I mean, it's a usable capital ship now. Usable for cleanup. So basically what we'll do is we'll take the step of making the finalizer, let's say, into a good enough state to be a cleanup fleet. If I drop a battle in fleet, I'll have something to work with. And then we take the TIE Defender up with a couple skill upgrades on the Defender. Then we go over to Datacrons, and Conquest will be starting soon, so I just wanted to go in here and kind of clean up what I can. And I only had a couple upgrades worth of materials for Datacrons, so with that out of the way, that's all we're going to get done in the account this week. Not a whole lot of clicks, but that's also not terribly surprising. We really went all out on the double drop week. We spent all of those upgrades. And then during this last week, I've kind of been sitting on the currency from the new raid system. I haven't gone crazy spending all of that. So again, I want to kind of build up a little bit of a balance and start trying to optimize my spending. So yeah, not as much progress as usual this week, but it's okay. It's cycling up for a reason. Week 133, we're at 629, 6.29 million galactic power, added 40,000. 72 relics, 93 zetas, 12 omicrons. We did add that boosh omicron. We got JMK in the top 10, Profundity in the top 5, GAC still Kyber 4. And the project will be to Relic General Anakin Skywalker for week 134. Next week's farming plan, same thing as usual. We're still working on the Trip 0 and BT1 for that Afra journey someday. Basilishan, Fallen, and Juhani, we got to cycle into that Darth Revan stuff in case the Leviathan fleet turns out to really be meta-defining as they promised. Then we'll have to chase it, so we need to be in a position where if that's the case, we at least will have those characters and won't have to farm up to get Darth Revan in the first place. So work on that. The Inquisitors have been relegated to the back burner. We'll work on them when it's Hard Node Day or Light or Dark Energy Day, respectively, for the guild objectives, but otherwise they're just on the tab to be farmed sometimes. Fleet Energy, TIE Defender, Sith Fighter, Cantina, Canderous, and the Signal data. And then this mod energy's gone back to the routine of farm mods all week and slicing materials on the weekend. And their fresh strategy is 3 across the board. The Jedi Knight team, Jedi Knight Luke team was done. The Mando team was done for the raid, but it turns out that it's not done after all. So in going back and looking, really the performance of that team was a lot less than I expected in the Krayt raid. And I think it's really due to the lack of Canderous. I can see where Canderous's skills are really going to make a difference in how this team plays in the Krayt raid. So, and again, if you guys feel free to comment down below if you've seen that he's needed or not needed, or that I'm off base with that comment. Let me know. But I feel like the Mando team really needs to have Canderous in it, so we will start to farm that Canderous up and build him up as part of our collection here. Again, we'll finish out Gas. We'll do Fennec for the Lord Vader counter. We did Mandalorian, so we're in good shape. I think we need Grief Karga for that team, so it'll pretty much be Fennec and Grief Karga in that, cycling up that team now. So 2 relics, and then we'll just finish out the Jabba journey from there, because there's a lot of stuff. There's so much good stuff in the game that I want to go for right now that I really kind of have to pick a route and go for it. And this is all the stuff that I'm willing to build before I get back to that Galactic Legend push. So that's how we'll play it out. And that should be about another 5 or 6 months worth of work in total between Ghast, Fennec, Jabba, all that. But with the new economy, we'll have to see how it all works out. So speaking of the economy, has the new raid system helped with relic rates? It is too soon to tell. We're just coming off the double drop week. Conquest starts next week. And I didn't really have a bank to practice efficiency yet. So for me, if you go in there and you just make purchases, it's not necessarily that you've made the best purchases. So on one hand, you can just buy stuff and warehouse it and have it. On the other hand, you can buy exactly what you need when you need it, but in the right way, with a balance between using the other shops, especially the shard shop, and balancing that out. So I have an early look, and one of the big things, the middle Gear 12 stuff should never need to be farmed again. That is one of the most efficient purchases that you can make with the Tier 2 currency. And just to demonstrate what I mean, if you look at the right side relic pieces, they all have this structure where you have a piece that appears far left, then you got a piece that appears in the middle, and then you've got this piece on the right side that's kind of a combination of some of the purple materials and something like stun cuffs or some other common Gear 12 material. So this middle one, these can be purchased 285 token 2 for 5 of them. You need 40 of these per character that you take to Gear 13. So if we were to just buy all of those mid pieces, we could actually buy 170 of those a week. We could make enough purchases to pull down 170. Now each relic character that we're trying to relic only has 2 times 20 on 2 different slots. So that's a total of 80 of those mid pieces. So I don't know that we would want to buy just all of those pieces. I think that gets inefficient. So you could also buy 145 of the standard Gear 12 plus pieces, like the HoloLenses or the furnaces or the detonators, the typical stuff that's again, that appears here on the left side, and you need 50 of. So you could buy those at 335 per purchase. So if we just split it in half and we said, look, every week we're going to complete this raid twice. Now, you can actually complete the raid twice in 6 days and be on your third cycle, so every third week you'll get a third raid. I didn't include any of that in this estimate. I just said, look, if you can complete it twice in a week, you'll get 9,700 of this Tier 2 currency for reasonable placement in the Krayt raid. So that means if you bought all 80 pieces for whatever character you're trying to relic, that would take 4560 of the token 2. That would leave 5140 of your earned token 2 for those Gear 12 main pieces that cost 335 each. And it only takes 150 of those main pieces, because there's one main piece on each of the right side bits for getting a character to Gear 13. So you could, half of the main pieces you could also buy within the same cycle. So looking at that, if we focus on those, we'll have no problem getting everything we need for the mid pieces, everything we need for the Gear 12 plus main pieces within a week, within 6 days. And if your relic cycle was 8.5, 9.5 days, wherever your relic cycle was before, this says pretty definitively that your right side pieces are on a 6-day cycle with this new currency system, if that's all that you purchase. So that's even too fast, because now we're just going to run out of a whole bunch of other materials. So then we have to balance this out, right? So if we're still going to buy these materials in Conquest, then we have to focus on only buying stuff or only farming stuff that we can convert for Zimbital cards, or the Gear to keypads, or whatever they're called, for the Relic 9 stuff if you need a Relic 9 character for a journey, for example. So we're going to focus on the materials that we can break down in the scavenger as a primary. And I think that will go in a way where even then, I think you'll be able to overcome the need for Zimbital cards and have extras. So maybe with fleet energy, then it becomes smarter to switch to the purple gear. So again, there's no way that the Gear 12 plus purples are going to keep up. My purchases out of the shard shop don't keep up already. I'll also have to spend some guild event token 1 to keep up with my current relic rate. So if we accelerate from an 8.5 day relic rate to a 7 day relic rate, then again, we've just run out of those materials. So I think we're going to have to farm the med pack and scanner. I've looked at those nodes, and those nodes are really not great. They have like one other gear piece on them and some fleet currency, and it's really undesirable to be farming those nodes, I think. But I think that so it's a comparison, right? If you look at the cost of those for the token 2, they really cost quite a lot more than those Gear 12 Plus pieces that I'm planning to buy. And I don't think that by buying them out of that shop and then farming the normal stuff that we end up better off either. So again, it's going to be a little bit of figuring out. There's also some like other things that might be able to balance this out. And again, it's hard for me to say, okay, look, this is how you do it, until I kind of practice it and try to do it myself. So what I'm looking at, we might have to just spend that tier 2 currency on an efficiency rotation. So just like we're going to break up the token 2 on those middle pieces and the main pieces, maybe we have to divide it up even further and say, okay, we're going to buy, those 80 pieces, but then we're only going to buy like 25 of the main pieces, and we're going to spend the rest on med packs. I don't know. So I'll try to work on that and try to figure out some efficiency equation for it. But basically, that we're going to be able to outrun our ability to collect those relic materials in the way that we used to. Refreshing the shard shop might be good, especially for people who have some extra crystals. You might hit that shop with 1 or 2 refreshes per day. The random nature of it, you refresh it, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to see the Gear 13 purple pieces that you need. So it could be that you refresh that shop and you just wasted your currency, or that you don't have enough shards to buy it if you refresh it. So that's a bit of a balancing act as well. And then, of course, the Get 1, saying that you just have to reserve all your guild event token 1 for med packs and scanners. Those are the materials you'll run out of. If other people run out of other materials, statistically, everybody could have a different situation. But those are the materials that are needed in the highest quantities, so the likelihood that you run out of those materials is just statistically higher than the others because you need more of them for any given journey. So that's why I reference those, but basically it's random, so it doesn't guarantee that you're going to find the stuff you need. So I think if we focus on all that stuff, then there's a chance that we still run out of the left side gold pieces and can't collect those fast enough. So a lot of juggling that needs to be done to figure out like exactly the routine that we need to do here, but I do have some options that I'm going to be looking at, trying to balance out and try to figure out what makes the most sense to reliably relic these characters and take advantage of the gear changes. All right, that's going to wrap up the update for week 133. Plugging right along, getting all kinds of new stuff into the account. Last few weeks have felt like just a landslide of new stuff. So we're once again making a good chunk of progress, I think. So the Jedi Knight Luke team being finished feels really good. Gas on the way feels really good. Getting very close to the Fennec team. Doing okay in the Krayt raid. So really feel like there's a lot of stuff coming together at the same time in the account. And that's a pretty good feeling of progress right now. Hope you guys are all feeling the same way. The double drop week treated you as well as it treated me, and that all of us Inquisitors are just pushing on ahead. All right. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to hit that like button on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Subscribe to this channel if you want to watch more stuff like this in the future. And, of course, tickle that notification bell to make sure that you're alerted when videos come out. Stop over on Discord. The link is always in the description of the Holocron down below. Just click that Discord link. We got a great community. A lot of people chatting about the game, experienced players that are willing to take their time to help out new players. A bunch of new players asking questions that might be the same questions that you have. So just come on over there and read what's going on. You can learn a lot about the game and get little hints and tips and tricks on how to keep your account rolling and make good progress. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next Holocron.